Hey, aloha guys, Eric West here, HawaiiRealEstate.org, coming to you live from the heart of Lahaina, Hawaii. I am standing on the shores of Baby Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches, undoubtedly, in the world. Definitely one of the most beautiful beaches in the United States of America. And the question I have for you, and for anybody watching this video, is why is the story of Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii not leading every single newscast in our country today? Seriously. And I figured out the answer. And this is going to sound a little bit harsh, but the reason is it's because of you. Because you, the person that's watching this, the person that cares about this, needs to do something. And if you don't, this will be forgotten. And it is forgotten. When I first came to this scene the day after the fire, I prayed over it and I said, this will not be handled like any other tragic disaster in our country. It will be different. Why? Because this is your playground. This is a special place. They're just not going to get away with it. They picked the wrong island to do this on. And I'll be honest with you, at this point in time, I'm not seeing the outcome of that prayer right now, because in my opinion, this has been utterly and completely forgotten. And there's nothing happening. This place is empty. There's nobody here in terms of investigators, news crews, mainstream media, reporters, things. There's nothing happening. There's nothing going on, literally. The people have been complaining. I've been posting it for months about what's going on Maui, about the financial situation, about how they're getting the runaround. And guess what changes? Nothing changes. So the only hope that we have, in my humble opinion, obviously, is Jesus Christ himself, and that's who I pray over. That's what I pray over this place every day. But after that, it's people like you taking action. And if you don't take action, then honestly, we're going to have to count on someone else to take some action. So if you're not going to take action, just stop watching this video right now and go back to some other world event, because this is where it's happening on U.S. soil right here. So if you don't care about U.S. soil, and you want to worry about the rest of the world, then your tax dollars should go over to those other parts of the world. But if you actually care about the United States of America, which is the soil that I'm standing on right now, if you actually care, then I believe that you'll do something. And you might say, well, what is that something I can do? You can write your congressman, you can reach out to your local television station, you can reach out to the Maui Council members, you can do a FOIA request, you can do a lot. You can share the video, you can thumb up, you can ask other influencers. If you're an influencer, if you've got a channel, if you're Joe Rogan, if you're somebody that's got some reach, if you're Mr. Beast, if you're someone that has some influence on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, then you can actually care about your country and do something to bring awareness to what's going on here. And if you don't, I'm going to say this, shame on you. Shame on you for not doing something. Shame on you. This is your country, something abominable has happened, and if you don't care, then guess what? You're next. You're next. Our country is next. So show me that you can do something. I'm going to take you on a little tour right now. A very sad tour. I've been walking it for the last couple hours. And I'm right here in the heart of Lahaina on Baby Beach, and I'm going to show you some of the beautiful homes that were destroyed. I want this video to bring awareness, and I want you to study the clips in this video. And in the comment section, I want you to point out what you see that doesn't make any sense. I want you to be an observer. I'm one guy with a camera and an iPhone, but I want this to document, and I want to show you what has happened here. But I also, most importantly, want to bring awareness to what's going on here. And in a week or two, I'd like to see a whole host of camera crews down here reporting and caring as if this was some type of an important event, which it is. But apparently right now, it doesn't seem like it's important. They cut out the media the first 3 weeks. They wouldn't let them in. They wouldn't give them press passes. Well, now you can come down here if you have any guts. All right, so where am I at? Home of the, is it free? Land of the brave? Was the word brave in there somewhere? I thought it was. I thought the word brave was somewhere. Is it land of the free and home of the brave, or land of the brave and home of the free? I don't know. Am I confused? Are we free and are we brave? I'm just curious. If you're free and if you're brave, put it in the comments and do something. Just getting frustrated, guys. To be honest with you, it's frustrating. And I didn't lose a home. I didn't lose any possessions. Imagine how these people feel. Just imagine. Can you create some empathy inside of your mind and just imagine the person that lived in this home, what they're feeling today? Is empathy dead? I know Tucker Carlson said journalism is dead. I'm convinced of that. When you have a real estate agent covering one of the most important events in our country's history and there's nobody else, you know, journalism's dead. Is bravery dead? Is freedom dead? I don't know. Feels like it to me. This is the entrance, if you guys remember, if you've been here before, sidewalk entrance to Baby Beach on the south end. Just to give you some orientation. I know a lot of you guys aren't from Lahaina or from Maui, and maybe you've never been here before. There's this amazing tool called Google Earth. You can just pop it in there, put in Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii, and you can start studying up on what this place looks like and where the fire went and where it didn't go. It's all there. They updated Google Earth like the next week. Don't know why they did that. Just weird, huh? Do they always update Google Earth all the time like that? I don't know. Why did all of a sudden they update Google Earth so fast? I don't know, but you can see it now. And one of the questions I want you to ask yourself is, how'd the fire get from Baby Beach up to the north end of Front Street? And on this video, I'm actually gonna take you there. I'm gonna show you so you can start to educate yourself and care about this little corner of the world, and you can start asking questions too. Just kind of getting angry. I don't know, man, I'm just getting pissed. It's just America. What the hell has happened to you? This is what's happened to you right here. And this is what's going to continue to happen to you unless you wake up and do something. Seriously. It's a beautiful home back in here. If you remember, Colton and I photographed and Matterported this home back here. This is a wonderful family right here. This was a multiple generational home. Beautiful, beautiful home. They just did a ton of remodel to it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful home. But I'm going to start pointing out a few things that I see that are kind of interesting as I go through this. I don't know, maybe it's normal for blue tile to not change color when everything else is gray, but that blue tile is still just dialed. I don't know, maybe that's normal. I don't know. Looks like some kind of maybe solar panels out here. Okay, so just to orientate you guys, I'm looking down here at the harbor. That's the harbor. That is the shaky gimbal, my apologies. Lahaina Shores, that building that's still standing. And then you're looking at the span of Front Street right there. It's all of Front Street. Okay, are we orientated? Oceanfront home, this one survived. I don't understand why some survived and one didn't. Some didn't. I know fire is very interesting in that regard. That one doesn't have a blue roof. Just, I don't know, it's like a thatched roof, for crying out loud. I don't know what that is, but that one survived. Should we be looking into who owns the homes that survived? I think we should. I don't know. Just would be a good data point, wouldn't it? But I'm sure somebody's investigating all this, right? Our FBI. Interesting that they showed up all of a sudden. So again, you know, it's blue. Why did it survive and everything else? I don't know. Homes across the street. Obviously, this is an oceanfront home. Homes across the street were okay. All of them, I do believe, on that street. Next door was another client of mine. I actually stayed in this home a few times while I was working for them. Another multi-generational home right here. There's a sign somewhere. Or maybe it was this house. You know, it's just hard to tell because you don't have the visual cue anymore of what the house looks like. Now I believe it was this one was my client. My apologies. Yeah, this one. Baby Beach vacation rental. Not too sure what that blue mesh is. Inside a window, or just not too sure what that blue mesh is. In the comments, you know, if you see something interesting, please notate it. A lot of these trees did burn. It's a good sign. Somewhat normal. Another oceanfront home. This one they put a fresh chain link fence around it. Around the pool for some reason. I guess they're trying to protect someone from falling into the pool. If you're just joining the live, I'm coming to you live from Baby Beach, Maui, Hawaii, showing the oceanfront homes that were destroyed. As you can see, Baby Beach is completely empty. The beach is actually open. You can legally be here, so I'm not trespassing or doing anything illegal. Got the whole place to yourself should you want to come down here. And then we have Pu'unoa right next door. Unscathed, literally. The whole thing is of perfection. I mean, I'm very thankful for them, obviously. It just seems quite fortuitous that everything on both sides of this high-end condominium structure burned to the ground. And this thing is just absolute perfection. So maybe we should study, like, what is this building made out of, right? Is there something that we can learn here? Because even you can see the building behind it even burned. You see that? I can't legally go back there, but you can see the building behind it burned. But this one is good to go. These are beautiful, beautiful. This is a condominium. They are vacation rentable. Very high end. I did some photography in here a while back as well. But they did have, you know, this thing got scorched right here. This tree got scorched. Even I saw that these bushes over here. So it's not like it didn't have fire around them. You can see these bushes, alpaca bushes, they all got completely burned. Not a leaf on them. But the building, from what I can see, the buildings are perfectly fine. Matter of fact, I think the pool is actually open. Yeah, come on down. Just strange. I don't know what this was. Standing in front of, it's like maybe somebody's gate. And then the only other home that survived on this strip, oceanfront, would be the little bungalow just to the north of Pu'unoa Estates here. One of my favorite places actually to come to the beach because you have these nice trees and grass. So you get like this perfect combination of shade and grass, and you know, it's just, shout out in the comments if you've enjoyed a beautiful beach day here with your babies. It's called Baby Beach because you can see the reef is breaking way out there. Always like a baby bath right in here, so very calm waters and one of the best lefts out there. It's not breaking right now, but so if you do anything, if you're just too busy in your life to care, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Channel's losing subscribers every day, which is hard to believe considering I have over 100,000 views every day, minimum. But yet my subscriber count's going backwards most days. It's weird. So the fire did ignite some more of these bushes here. But as you can see, the building, perfectly fine. Maybe the blue gutters were enough, you know? But it's shocking. Everything around this place is burned. Like, check out this one. This is a little bungalow next door. Somehow they had time to maybe boarding up their windows? I don't know. Kind of wild. One of the few homes I've seen that had boarded up windows. I don't think anybody had time to do that. Or maybe they got access. But none of these homes have received any access to my knowledge. But here you can see this home. Check this out. Even though it's standing, right behind it you can see the structure burned. I don't know if you can see that. Okay? So that's burned, right? A lot of people are like, oh yeah, the winds were so hot, they were just igniting everything, even cars. Okay, well look at this. Look in here, you can see the Maui County electric meter, and it still has a piece of paper hanging from it. Right? Look, that piece of paper right there, that tag, that's perfectly fine. So how is that possible? Just seems weird, right? Hot fire next door, burned and melted everything. Just so you guys are clear, the winds were blowing directly towards the ocean at 80 miles an hour, directly towards the ocean. I never experienced it going any other direction. Fire travels usually the direction of the wind. Can we all agree on that? Maybe? This home, good to go. Good to go. But you're going to see the homes next door suffered a much different fate. You can see here this tree is clearly on fire. But this house is good, but right next door, the destruction resumes. And you can see, like I said, the structure that's right behind this house, it might have even been the ohana, has cracked cinder block right down the center. And then over here, you have a wood shower. That's perfectly fine. Okay, 80-mile-an-hour winds blowing directly towards this wood shower, and that building is melting. Okay, it couldn't be 30 yards from this wooden outdoor shower. Come on, somebody, you have melted fence right here. What was on this wood that kept it, whatever they applied to that wood to keep it fire resistant, I think that's what they should be spraying on all the homes from now on, because this thing right here is a miracle. I mean, even the camera's good to go. You could get some footage, you know, I bet their Ring system caught some footage. By the way, where is all the Ring camera footage? Who owns Ring? Anyone? Right? You should be just reams of Ring footage that we can get. Everyone's got a Ring camera, man. Now check this out. I know you guys are all going to call me a conspiracy theorist after this, right? But my goodness, is there a particular color of bucket that survived? And by the way, it isn't always blue. A lot of times it's white, and a lot of times it's red. But there are some blue buckets, some white ones. But just interesting that those were resistant to the heat. Yeah, if you come down here and you walk around this long enough, you'll get a little attitude as well, I can promise you. I can promise you. And if you don't, you're not breathing. Because it's just wrong. I was on the mainland for a few weeks. Not a word, not a peep, nothing, zero, less than zero being talked about. Half the people I talked to, I said, oh yeah, I'm from Maui. Oh yeah, we love Maui. I'm like, did you hear about the fire? Like, no, what happened? It's insane. So next to that, obviously, is the Dojo Mission, the Buddhist temple, burned. And I'm going to finish up this live if you stick around. on my one wheel. I'm gonna one wheel down to Lahaina, Old Lahaina Luau, perfectly good. Mala, Honu, restaurants, Safeway, and we're gonna talk about how the fire get into the north end of Front Street. There's a huge gap between here and the north end of Front Street. Again, I encourage you to open up your Google Maps, Google Earth I should say, and go ahead and just put in Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii, and start looking at the burn, start studying it, start asking yourself questions. Again, is it just me, or is it the blue pottery that just stands out? It just stands out to me for some reason, I don't know why. Pretty beautiful home here, look at this pool. Got this infinity hot tub in the center. Please share the video. We're trying to bring awareness to the Maui situation. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video. Got a car back here that's burned. Is it just me, or is that something blue next to that car? It could just be me. Just some melted aluminum next to a perfectly good tree. Bush. I know I should know the name of that flower. I just forgot it at the moment. Plumeria is stuck in my head. Again, we have another Ring camera here. Where's the Ring camera footage? Where's the body cam footage? In case you haven't seen one of my latest posts, MauiAlert.com, who's a gentleman here doing some independent investigative journalism as well. He is suing Maui County Police. We should all, collectively, as a nation, be requesting all of the body cam footage, all of the radio transmissions between the police, the fire department, the dispatch, the field officers, all. It should all be released because it belongs to us, we the people. And if you don't request it, you know, let just some random guy with an iPhone camera do the work. Everyone's right to get that footage, but he's suing, MauiAlert.com is suing, got a rooster back there, is suing the Maui Police Department because they released the footage to a competitor, but they just gave clips that showed the police in the best light possible, did not release all of the footage, and completely ignored him. I too have put in a FOIA request for that footage and for the radio transmissions, and I'm apparently on eternal hold at the moment. But we should be doing it collectively as a country, because what happened here matters, and to know the truth matters, so that decisions can be made and policies can change, and we can make sure it doesn't happen again. Do you see where that responsibility lies with all of us? What happened here happened, and these people need to be made whole. These people need to have their mortgages relieved. Money needs to stop flowing to foreign freaking countries when our own people are suffering, possibly even at the hands of the government. That money needs to stop flowing. So if you're not writing your congressman tonight, well, guess what? You're part of the problem. I know. It's blue. I get it. You're part of the problem. If you don't do anything, honestly, you're part of the problem. If you don't do anything, you're part of the problem. My dad is military, he said. Had a little sign. Said, lead, follow, or get out of the way. If you're not part of the problem, you're part of the solution. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So what are you going to do after you get done watching this video? In the comments, make a commitment. State what you're going to do. Make a statement. Commit to something besides just watching and being entertained by other people's atrocities and misfortunes. This is your misfortune. This is your misfortune. If you're an American, if you're a world citizen, this is you. This is your backyard. This is your home. What would you do if it was your home? Well, you probably wouldn't have too many options because you don't have a computer, you don't have your paperwork, you don't have any money, you don't have a job, you don't have a place to lay your head at night. But you are empowered because you have your stuff still. You have power, you have money, you have time, you have resources. You can do something. But it's just like that old, adage where someone's getting murdered in the streets of New York City, no one does anything. They're all just in their apartments listening to the carnage, too afraid to step out and help. It's bullshit, I'm sorry. It just is, man. It's called fear. And fear gets you killed, now or later. You decide. You decide. Let them kill your country now, or let them kill your country later. But if you don't do anything, you are part of the problem. And what are you gonna do? There's so many things. Brainstorm it with your neighbor for 5 minutes. What can we do to help Maui? Let's come up with a list of 20 things. Let's turn off the stupid football game. All right, you digested your turkey. Congratulations, you have a lot to be thankful for. But does this guy? Do something. Like seriously, do something. What are you gonna do? Put it in the comments. Just gonna watch? Is this entertaining? Not for me. Every day I wake up and I go, Eric, what can I do today? What can I do? I can do something. I don't have much. But we should all wake up every morning asking ourselves, what can we do? Was it JFK? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I just talked to a volunteer. He was at Mala Ramp. He's getting ready to plan a diving trip. Came here all the way from Washington. I'm a contractor, he said. I'm here to help. But he goes, nothing's going on. He goes, nothing's going on. I asked, I called, I went to churches. I'm looking for people swinging hammers and doing stuff. He goes, there's nothing going on. Nobody wants my help. He goes, I make $2,000 a day as a contractor in Washington. I'm here ready to work for free, and nothing's going on. Is there a volunteer task force centralized 1-800 number? I don't know. People are coming here to help, and they're going diving. Meanwhile, it's ABC soup everywhere, right? Where's We the People soup? Okay, so this is ABC soup, by the way, is FBI, CIA, DEA, blah, 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 DLNR. So they just say, you know, you should stay out of the water because it's toxic. Yeah, really? So, anyway, guys, sorry for the attitude, man. It's just something's just not right. It's just making me mad. And the lack of response is making me mad. And the fact that YouTube is, you know, banning people. Where's, heard Hustle Bitch hasn't posted anything in a long time. You watch the local news channels put up a really important video about Lahaina. It gets like 452 views. It's like, really? A major news source puts up a video about Lahaina and it gets less views than I get in like a minute. It's crazy. Again, just showing angles, shots of the destruction. So by the way, where I am right now, this is as far as the fire went. The fire stopped. You want to know where the fire stopped, guys? I'm going to show you where it stopped. It stopped, well, this is the last structure that burned right here. It stopped as far as in Lahaina town before North Front Street area. This is the last place it burned, that picnic table. But then the very last thing I could find that burned, there's a graveyard over here, obviously, but there's this boat right here. So this boat, I don't know, it was probably out in the water, would be my guess. I don't know. Kind of trippy though. How the engine is just completely and utterly melted. How all these boats caught fire too is kind of wild. You know, they're in the water. How does that happen? Sorry about the shake on this gimbal. So there's your motor. And then this is the boat it came off of, the Klamath. This is the very last thing that burned. Okay, so stick with me. I'm gonna head over and grab my one wheel. That's Mala Ramp, just so you know. I believe that went down during Hurricane Aniki. That is the Kaanapali Beach Hotels. Hyatt, where a lot of the survivors are staying, just to orientate you. So I want you to keep this in mind. This location right here is the furthest the fire came, right here. Oceanfront. And then I'm going to show you on my one wheel the closest next spot it burned. And we're just going to pose the question of, like, how did it get there? How did the fire get from there? And again, you can pull up Google Earth. It's this amazing free software. And they updated it within days of the fire with all of the burn pictures. So it has all the burn in there. Whew, the Lahaina sun is hot. I think she's north of 90 degrees today. So, for all you people out there that are suffering in any kind of cold weather, I can assure you that you can come down here and defrost, enjoy yourself, add to the economy with a little visitation dollar, and help bring awareness. But most importantly, we've got to fill these hotel rooms, we've got to fill these Airbnbs. We have to bring tourism back, the restaurateurs, the activity centers. That's one way you can support, right? It'd be the easiest way you could support. Hey, can you please come on vacation and support Maui? That's a pretty easy ask, in my opinion. And share that message. Okay, just gonna grab my one wheel. We're gonna go for a quick ride. Thanks for sticking in there with me. I know these lives get a little bit long, but again, just pretend like you're on a little walk on Baby Beach. We're just chatting. So this is the Mala ramp. This is where a lot of tours go out of. Probably went on a snorkel tour or dive boat tour. That's where they launch right there, Mala boat ramp. And this is a lot of homeless people hang out here. It's a pretty well-known sort of homeless hangout, if you will. Sorry for the delay here. I pulled my one wheel out and half of my truck contents fell on the ground. Okay, here we go. Okay, thanks for bearing with me. All right, so now we're underway on the one wheel. I'm heading directly towards Kahoma Village. That's another very interesting one to look at on the Google map. You'll notice that the center of the complex caught fire. The center of the complex was the affordable housing, workforce housing they call it. It's really not affordable. And there was a gentleman in there, I believe, had a water truck. And he was able to go around and save the rest of the buildings because he had a water truck and he was insistent on saving his property. I believe he had a home in there. So that's why you'll see the middle of Kahoma Village did not go up in flames, because there was a guy with a water truck. Same thing would go with the top of Lahaina Luna, where I showed those two cars that burned out. That neighborhood also was saved by a water truck. That was Truth Excavation. Shout out to Chemo. I know those guys saved a lot of areas because they actually had water. It's amazing. Water puts out fire. Just amazing. So one guy with a water truck saved all of Kahoma Village. The firemen, of course, didn't have water. A lot of talk about the down power lines. Yeah, everyone knew there was no power since 4 a.m. that morning, 4:30 a.m. So how long do you think it would take? Any firemen listening to this? If that pole fell down, right here, Okay, let's just pretend that pole, or these 5 poles fell down. Boom. How long would it take you guys, your firemen, to cut them up, put a chain around them, and drag them off with one of your $100,000 county paid for trucks? How long would that take, roughly? Just curious. 5 poles fell over, and we're trying to get out. I know I've got a Dodge Ram pickup truck. I used to sell farms and ranches. I always carried a chainsaw with me because we go down a trail in the middle of the woods and a big tree would fall over, block the trail. You get out, saw it up, boom, boom. It's easy. These are like trees. How long would it take to cut these things up? Move them out of the way. Power lines were dead, right? There was no power. So by the way, before I forget, I got off on a little different tirade there. I want you to notice this, please. I just crossed over one of the biggest, I believe, fire lines you could ever ask for. Look at this thing. Look at this. That is concrete. That's half a football field of concrete right there. Can we agree on that? Is that a boatload of concrete? The fire crossed this. The fire crossed this. The mystery of the emerald buildings, if you saw that video, they're right there. They're right on the other side of that concrete. But you would think this would be like the ultimate fire line. Like nothing could cross this, right? Nothing. Because look at it. It even has a little bit of water in it. But it did. So remember, the last point of fire we saw was down there, Baby Beach. I'm on my one wheel now, so I'm cruising, 10, 15 miles an hour. Up here on the left is Old Lahaina Luau. Shout out. My favorite luau in Maui. My wife and I, the day after we got engaged, this is where we went. We still have the picture with the Mai Tais in the hand. Love this place. Now remember, there was embers blowing everywhere, catching everything on fire, these hot embers, and it was 80-mile-an-hour winds blowing toward the ocean. But somehow a grass-thatched roof survives. Matter of fact, all of their grass-thatched roofs survived. Huh. Boy, those embers can catch a metal building on fire, but a grass-thatched roof? It's all good. Maybe we should switch to grass-thatched roofs. So over here, have what used to be Aloha Plate Lunch, if you guys remember that, shout out. Great restaurant. Converted to Star Noodle. Star Noodle is good. Not open, of course, because there's no water or electricity down here. And then Frida's, whatever. Mexican restaurant. I love that place too. They shut down, unfortunately, but they survived. There's nobody in there currently. Safeway, that whole building, perfectly fine. Did not suffer any damage whatsoever, from what I can see. And they're open for business. They don't have water though. Not too sure how a grocery store stays open without water, but they're doing it. Okay, so now probably two of your more favorite restaurants would be my guess. You have Honu. And then next to that, Mala. And next to that, the new duck kind. And next to that, you have the guys that won't let you in the neighborhood. Based on what law, I have no idea. But you can't go in that neighborhood. But that house didn't catch fire. That house didn't catch fire. This is Safeway. It didn't catch fire. But over here, boom. Destruction. Fire. This is Nuku's neighborhood, if you remember. Okay, so here's my question. My question is, if you go to Google Earth and look at this neighborhood, you'll see that you've got no fire around it, with the exception of the other side of the highway. Now, the other side of the highway does have some houses that burn. So my question is, how did the fire cross the highway? You would think a highway, 4-lane highway, would be a pretty good fire line. You would think. I would think. Look, we still have power lines that are down right here. Boy, the cleanup is definitely on Maui time, yeah? So I gotta get off my one wheel and go around. So hang on a sec. I like the fencing. Isn't that nice? You think you own property in our country? Think again. They could fence you out too, pal. Sorry, the gimbal is doing the wobble. All right, we're gonna end the live up here. So gas station miraculously survives, of course. Nothing flammable in the gas station. All right, so here we are, corner of Kapunakea, just so you can get your bearings when you go to Google Earth later this evening and you're doing your homework on Maui, Hawaii, and the Honopi'ilani Highway. So this house obviously burned right here on this corner, as they did all the way down. And so then, I guess the fire jumped this entire highway and caught all these homes on fire. Would that be a logical conclusion? I don't know, but you would think there'd be some footage of that jump happening. That there'd be firemen here, there would be police officers here, there would be some kind of evidence that the fire jumped this highway. Because this is, if you remember, where a lot of the people were trying to get out, the roadblocks. This was a heavily fire and police infested area. So if this is where the fire crossed, then there should be some kind of footage or evidence of that. And if that's there, great. All right, now we understand it. After that, we'll talk about how did the fire even get to that neighborhood. Because if you study the Google Maps and you look, or the Google Earth, and you look at the area behind it, it doesn't look like the grass. I mean, there's a new development that got protected by the company that's building it. New construction, you know, 2x4s exposed wood. Supposedly, I heard that they protected it with water trucks. That's why it's still there up at the bypass. So how did the fire get to Waikuli? I just want to know, how did it get there? You can see how far you are from the Lahaina town fire. This is now Waikuli neighborhood. This is the closest spot. How did it start there? I really want to know that. And then the last thing, man, I wish I could just go down there. Should I do it? How long is my live at right now? 42 minutes, that's pretty long. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's a long live, I'm just gonna do it because I want to point this out. This is important. I've been meaning to show this for a while. All right, I gotta push the button though. See, I don't want to break any rules. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So we're just gonna do this because it's important. And again, my apologies for my shaky gimbal. I don't know what's going on with this darn thing. And hopefully there's no haters in the chat. I'm not having it moderated at the moment. But again, we're just truth seekers. Want some answers. By the way, if you were a law-abiding citizen on that day and you listened to what the cops said, it could have been a bad outcome. Melted fence right there, do you see that? So what I want to point out though, the story I'm going to tell you is I'm going to take you down, we're going to do this quick little jaunt on the side of the highway. You can see the barriers, you can see the double fencing. Alright, we got the walk signal here. Okay. Yeah, I know, I'm a little crazy. What the heck? I've seen bums sleeping on the side of this highway. No question. Like literally tents set up. Welcome to America. Figure they can do that, I can take a quick ride down. So anyway, this is supposedly where the fire jumped over the highway. Otherwise, there's no other logical explanation for how it got over there. Would there be some evidence of the fire on this guardrail? You know, I'm not a fire forensic expert, but I would think there's people out here studying this. Is there evidence of fire on this side of this guardrail? Is that how the fire got to Waikuli? That, of course, is the Pentecostal Church. If you haven't seen that video yet, please do so. And hopefully through some of these videos, you're starting to get familiarized with the layout of the town. It's not complex, it's a small town. Whew. I just had an old guy veering toward me. I'm like, oh boy. All right, we're almost there. This is going to be important for you guys to see. You need to get this. And as you can see, I also heard that none of the Maui County facilities burned. That's like a Maui County, whatever, water thing or whatever. I heard that none of the Maui County infrastructure buildings burned. Again, that could be just a rumor, but I did hear that. Every time I see one, though, it is still standing. Orientation, if you remember Ed Cheney. Okay, so here we are. This is Fleming Road. Okay, let me just kind of explain what happened right here, because this is the infamous end of Front Street. Right here is where the Chart House was. Chart House is now gone. But this is where the cars were coming out of Front Street. That is Front Street right there, okay? And if you look at the images from that day, what you're gonna see is all the cars coming down Front Street were funneled right here, and they were waiting right here to make this left-hand turn, okay? They were waiting right here. There was an officer sitting here. That was blocked. I believe this was blocked. And all the cars on Front Street had to negotiate this left-hand turn, okay? Obviously, they could have contraflowed and opened up that lane and had people going out here and here, 2 lanes there, a contraflow there. They could have just been dumping traffic, but instead, what I saw in those images is this 1 lane exiting, and there was an officer standing there directing traffic, because obviously there were some cars, I believe, coming this direction, and they were merging those 2 lanes together, right? There was no cars exiting being contraflowed. But here's what's really bizarre, and this is what I really want an answer to. Like, I really, really want an answer to. And I learned this from the gentleman that showed me the burned out cars. Now, just so you go where we're at here, this is, right, I literally am zoomed in right now on where the fire station and the police station are and the post office. They're all together. Fire station, police station, post office. They're all right there. Civic Center. So that's, what, I don't know, 10 football fields? Something like that, very close. There's a light that's right there. I don't know if you can see it. But what they were doing, what I was told by Devin, is he said they were turning all the cars, not around at that light, they were turning them into Waikuli neighborhood. So they were allowing all the people, imagine all the people trying to come to Lahaina that day, right? They want to get their children, they want to check their house, they want to whatever. They're flowing, they're trying to come to Lahaina. Instead of U-turning them at that light and making them go back north, they were turning them into Waikuli neighborhood. They were turning all the southbound traffic into this neighborhood right here. So I have clients that I sold homes to in this neighborhood, and they said we tried to leave that day, but we couldn't because our entire neighborhood was a parking lot. It was a parking lot during the day. So my question is, the next light up from there is Kaanapali Parkway, where you turn to go down to all the hotels. Whenever there's a fatal accident or some kind of major accident down here, anywhere in Lahaina, they will turn cars around at Kaanapali Parkway. They would never direct them into a neighborhood. That's completely asinine. They would turn them around at Kaanapali Parkway. The next morning after the fire, they were turning cars around at Kaanapali Parkway. But the day of the fire, they were turning cars left. They were heading south, turning them left into the Waikuli neighborhood. And that's one of the reasons I want to hear the commanding officer, the police station, the police dispatch, the field officers. I want to find out who was managing the traffic in this area. Because whoever was managing and directing officers in this area, we need to find out how that happened, who that happened. We need to understand that. And then you've got down power lines over here. And why wouldn't a few firemen get together, right, with their big fancy $150,000 trucks and their chainsaws and just pull them out? That to me is the top priority. If you don't have water, you can't fight the fire. Well, let's get the poles out of the way and let's get the people out of the town. I don't know about you, but what I was told by Devin is he was on his moped. He pulled over right there by the police station, got off his moped and was telling people to turn around. He was giving him that sign on his neck, like, no can, turn around, turn around. He was trying to get people to stop trying to come to Lahaina. He saw the traffic jam. And what he said happened is a police officer came up to him and said, stop doing that, you're causing more traffic, and made him leave. That's just an eyewitness testimony and how I learned about this traffic situation. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video has been somewhat helpful. It is beyond painful what's happened here. It's beyond painful, the reaction after what happened here, the response. Everything is just beyond description, beyond words, beyond expectation, below beyond, it's just bad. It's so bad, it's so wrong, and all I can say is study it, learn it, get involved, write your senator, write your congressman, write Maui County, write the mayor, email, text, phone. You know, it's all on these websites. It's amazing. If you Google, like, anyone, you can find their contact information. It's just shocking. Oh yeah, like the sirens didn't go off, right? That doesn't make any sense. The text messages didn't go off. The next morning, we received an Amber Alert the next day saying, don't go on the highway, there's been an accident. They used an Amber Alert to announce an accident. So obviously, the text message system was working. And during the entire episode after the fire, when we had no internet, no connection, no cell phone, no electricity, no nothing, guess what we always got every single day? Text messages. We couldn't respond. People are sending me links. You gotta watch this video. I'm like, well, thank you. I don't have no internet, but I could receive text messages. If you go to the emergency management website, you'll see their advertisement for their text message system, for their alarm system, and it's a company in Idaho that says, we're the best ever. We're the most reliable texting and emergency management communication systems on planet Earth, and we're in Idaho. Okay, so obviously the county was paying a third party to do this. Are we requisitioning their records? How much money were we paying them? Why did their systems fail? Does anybody look and go and research this stuff, or are we all just like watching videos going, oh, it's so horrible what happened, I'll give $5. Or nothing, right? A lot of videos I've made for these survivors, I'm like, hey, if everyone did give $5, they'd have enough money to survive for the next year. But guess what? Not everyone gives $5. Not even close. Just like when you ask people to subscribe to your channel, it's like 1%. It's like, is everyone just asleep? Seriously, you guys asleep? Hello? Oh, I'm so thankful for everything in my life. Okay, great. Now get to work. That's it.